DeKalb's new Code Red system can help keep you safe. New technology could reduce our overcrowded jails, and how you can get lost in a food forest. All that and more on NTC News Tonight.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Don't get caught in a thunderstorm or a traffic jam. Good evening, I'm Emilee Fannon. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Ericka Exton. Reporter Caprice Butts has more about the benefits of the Code Red alert system.
You probably see one of these often and wonder what the emergency may be. Now you might soon find out. The new Code Red system that the City of DeKalb recently installed gives citizens notifications on when there are weather emergencies, water breaks, road conditions, and other problems. DeKalb used to run under the reverse 911 system to alert people, but it was slow and took hours to alert everyone in the area. Now with Code Red, it takes only minutes to notify everyone that has signed up for it. Here on the City of DeKalb's website, if you click the Code Red link, you can put information where you get notifications about emergency situations either through phone, text, or voicemail.
Because this notification requires people to register, we need them to take action to make sure that they're notified.
The police and fire department work closely together to respond to the different emergencies that may arise.
We're looking forward to Code Red because it can be used from actually a criminal standpoint. If we're looking for someone who has maybe robbed a store or abducted a child or anything like that.
With the easier access and already a few hundred people signed up, the police and fire department can only hope for continued success. Here in DeKalb, I'm Caprice Butts with NTC News.
For more information, go to or sign up at www.cityofdekalb.com and click the Code Red link.
An appeals brief has been filed to overturn the 2012 conviction for a cold case from 1957. Jack McCullough is serving a life sentence for the kidnapping and a murder of a 7-year-old in 1957. Concerns were raised about statements used from his mother and testimony from prisoner inmates.
If you've driven past DeKalb's new state-of-the-art police building and wondered what's inside of the building is like, here is your chance to get a look inside without having to get handcuffed. This Saturday from 10 to 3, you can tour the station and see what $13 million bought us. The station that took 5 years from planning to completion and covers 35,000 square feet will be opening its doors.
Recent changes to the electronic monitoring devices allows authorities up-to-the-minute tracking.
And could reduce overcrowding in jails. Here's Cassandra Centrella with the whole story.
When electric home monitoring was first being used, it could only tell authorities if an offender was at home. With the GPS monitoring feature, authorities can be sure where offenders are at all times. The GPS monitoring system uses maps in a computer, which identify exclusion zones and inclusion zones. GPS monitoring actually gives officials now the opportunity to see where offenders are every minute, and they can pull it up on any computer screen just like this. If you look here, you can actually see that offenders who are in one location for a long period of time get clustered in one red dot like this. It actually looks like the symbol of a target, and they can track them throughout all their time. And when they end up in this red zone over here, that's when they know they're in trouble. The system allows people to feel safer and makes life a little easier for authorities.
From my standpoint, is how we supervise is the lack of paperwork that the GPS provides.
Tampering with or failing to charge the device could put offenders back behind bars. Incidents like this are looked into, and legitimate reasons could result in replacing the device. The device only costs $6.50 a day and is paid by the offender, costing taxpayers nothing. The alternative is housing the inmate in jail at a cost of $60 a day. That's coming out of your pockets. Although electric home monitoring has helped reduce the number of house inmates, overcrowding is still an issue.
So for example, last year our average daily population was 134. Our jail capacity is only 89, so significantly over the capacity.
With capacity for only 89 inmates, Lieutenant Klein hopes for an expansion in the near future. Reporting for NTC News, I'm Cassandra Santrella.
Thanks, Cassandra. A daily shuttle bus from DeKalb to the Metra station in Elburn is in the works. The Voluntary Action Center plans to build an 80,000 square foot transport hub on Barber Green Road. The site would allow about 100 parking spots to Commotive and new park and ride service. A one-way bus trip would cost about $5. The Voluntary Action Center said the facility would open in the end of the year, next year the earliest.
If you ride your bike next month, businesses in the community will save you money. May is National Bike Month, and a variety of local companies will be offering discounts to bike riders. The League of American Bicyclists says driving a car costs $8,000 a year versus just $300 if you ride a bike. Cars emit almost 4 pounds of pollutants per mile compared to riding a bike. You can visit the Live Healthy DeKalb County website or their Facebook page to learn more about National Bike Month savings.
NIU students will have the opportunity to show off their research projects. More than 300 students showcased their work in the 5th annual Undergraduate Research and Artistry Day on NIU's campus. Students' projects range from Nazi and Jewish research to topics on bullying and shyness victimization. Both judges and community members had the opportunity to walk around and ask students about their projects.
Do you want fresh fruit and vegetables? Well, the DeKalb County Community Gardens can provide.
Maria Wojnecki tells us about their work and their upcoming plans.
With the new season coming, the DeKalb County Community Gardens are preparing new fresh food sources in order to build a healthier community. Fresh vegetables are raised and donated to local food pantries, senior citizen facilities, and community meal sites throughout the year. The organization donated up to 16,000 pounds of fresh vegetables just last year. Dan Kenny, along with volunteers, are planning many projects this year.
We're going to be putting in a community orchard, which is nut trees, fruit trees, berry bushes, things like that.
Each year, the community gardens expand throughout the county. Current locations are Lincoln Elementary, Clinton Rosetta Middle School, and Bethlehem Lutheran. The DeKalb County Community Gardens hosts meetings the first Monday of each month at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of DeKalb.
It's to strengthen access to fresh, local, organic food for people in need. And at the same time, we work to preserve the stewardship of the soil.
The main objective is to facilitate schools and community gardens in order to provide wholesome food sources. The DeKalb County Community Gardens is starting a seed library with the DeKalb and Sycamore libraries where they can lend and share seeds and plan to offer educational workshops throughout the county. I'm Maria Wojnecki, NTC News in DeKalb.
Thanks, Maria. In a few minutes, we'll be speaking with Dan Kenny from the Community Gardens, but right now you can check out more than books from the DeKalb and Sycamore libraries. People can now check out seeds from both places. A variety of seeds will be offered that members of the county can use for their home gardens. Growers are asked to save some seeds after harvest time and return them to the library to be stored until the next year.
Them to check out the seeds like they would check out a book. So since they're not going to have to worry about bringing them back overdue or anything like that.
Well, this weather has been perfect for planting, hasn't it?
Yes, it sure has, and it's actually been a gorgeous day today. Unfortunately, some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Let's take a look at Thursday's outlook. You'll see temperatures in the 60s tomorrow, but we will be seeing rain across the areas, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. More on that in just a bit. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Well, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Richard Medlicott. Here's a look outside earlier today. We did have mostly sunshine earlier, but you can see those clouds starting to move in. But we did get up into the mid-50s today. Not quite to the average for today, but still very nice, a very nice day to be outside today. Looking out on the Great Plains right now, you can see the rain. That'll actually be moving into our area beginning tonight. We'll see rain tonight, and then you'll notice this warm front here also bringing some warmer temperatures for the end of your week this week. So for tonight, chance of showers, we will be dropping just below 40 degrees tonight, but for tomorrow, some showers and even some thunderstorms possible tomorrow. Just make sure you hang on to your umbrellas, as we will be seeing gusts into the 30s, or into up to 30 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, we will continue to see the rain. The temperatures will drop back into the upper 30s. And then for Friday, you'll see that will warm up even up to 68, almost 70, not quite. It will be windy though. And then Saturday, a cool down, not too bad, pretty mild. And then some more chances for rain beginning of next week. Back to you, Ericka, Emilee at the news desk.
Thank you. The weather may be rainy, but that's good for gardens and flowers to start to grow.
We heard about the food forest and the community gardens, and we have with us today the director of DeKalb County Community Gardens, Dan Kenny. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We hear terms like seed, food library, and a community gardens. Can you explain a little bit what that is?
Sure. Well, the seed libraries have to do with the public libraries in DeKalb and Sycamore, where we started something new this year to make it increase access for food for people to be able to start their own gardens. So we have seeds that people can actually get for free by going into the public library, checking them out, taking them home, planting the seeds, and then bringing them back at the end of the harvest season, collecting seeds and bringing those seeds back to the library for other people to use next year.
So what is the ultimate goal of a seed garden?
Well, the goal of a seed library is to increase the access to food, because people often don't realize that they can save thousands of dollars off their food bill by growing their own food in their own gardens. And so we want to provide access to seeds, land, tools, and education so that they can do that for themselves.
And you donated 6,000 pounds of vegetables. Where did all that go?
Actually, it was
16,000. I apologize.
That's okay. It was 16,000 pounds. It went to the food pantries, senior citizen centers, community meal sites like Feed 'em Soup, Volunteer Action Center, Meals on Wheels for senior citizens that are shut-ins in their own home, places like that.
How much do you expect this year?
This year we hope to at least double the amount of production that we had last year.
Oh, wow. That's great. So how can people get involved with these community gardens?
Oh, they can go to our Facebook page, or they also can go to our website, which is DeKalbGardens.org.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us today. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
good
you
luck
for
with the
having me.
growing season.
Thank you. Thank you.
A strong wind and clear skies sends people soaring. Find out how. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities. To ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give, advocate, Volunteer.
Live united. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
Well, there are so many ways to enjoy spring, from digging the earth and bike riding to kite flying.
And our Inside the 815 segment, where we take a close look at things to do in DeKalb County. Sabrina Bennett shows us the wonders of flying a kite in Sycamore.
Sunny skies and the sound of kites flapping through the wind is a sure sign that the annual Kites Over Sycamore event has arrived. The event is hosted each year on the Saturday before Easter and has become a tradition to many. There was no shortage of different types of kites ranging from all shapes, colors, and sizes. Carefree Flowers hosted the event at the Park District in Sycamore. They also provided children with free supplies to make their own kites for the event. One employee was excited to help out for the first time.
The kids came in with their parents, and the parents were able to, interact with them too. It was really nice.
It wasn't just children flying kites. One local resident has been coming to the event for more than 10 years, and he says that there's not much to it.
They just put them up in the air and let them float. And they paint the sky and just let them sit up there in the wind. It's a perfect day. Got about a 15-mile-an-hour wind, so it's great out.
Ren has 4 kites flying at the event and continues to keep his collection growing, but he has a few personal favorites of his own. The kites you see flying today are built a little different than the ones you played with as a child.
When was the last time you flew a kite? You may recognize the wood frame and the ribstop materials that are made to be more durable than traditional kites. Now all that's left to do is let it fly.
Woo! Flying high is just what one local resident is doing today, and for him, it's more than just a hobby. Troy Singer is a veteran flyer, and he has some advice for people that are just starting out.
I would say just start with something small, and then YouTube it, things like that. They have a lot of kite festivals, things like that on there, and then just some reading and getting watching other people that are flying the bigger stuff. Just ask questions.
But even veterans run into trouble every once in a while. So Ren has some advice on where to fly.
Well, you want to be in a big open area. This isn't exactly ideal because we do have a lot of trees and fences and whatnot, but it works okay when there's a good wind. But ideally, you want to be in a big open area.
Whether you're a veteran or a beginner, kite flying can be the perfect way to enjoy the spring season. For Inside the 815, I'm Sabrina Bennett, NTC News.
Thanks, Sabrina. I can't remember the last time I flew a kite.
Yes, absolutely. That makes me want to be a kid again. Yes.
Funerals are being held for 3 people killed in Ukraine.
And the first distress call from the ferry disaster. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
In Ukraine, funerals were held for 3 people killed in a shooting incident on the country road in the eastern part of the country. It happened at a pro-Russian roadblock outside the town of Slaviansky. Ukraine's acting president is calling on law enforcement agencies to renew the anti-terror measures across the country after the discovery of 2 tortured bodies, one of them a member of the local parliament.
There's new information about the first moments immediately after the South Korean ferry disaster. The first distress call came from a boy aboard the sinking ship who used his cell phone. The death toll now stands at 150, with roughly the same amount still missing. 9 crew members now face charges in the South Korean ferry disaster.
The search for Malaysian Airways Flight 370 keeps on. Bluefin 21, the anonymous underwater vehicle, is searching for the most promising area deep beneath the southern Indian Ocean. But far as it has found no trace of MH370. That is putting attention back on the search from the air. Crews are looking for any debris that could give any reassurance to the search, and it's taking place right now in the area.
President Obama has arrived in Japan for the first part of an Asian trip. He's reassuring Tokyo of U.S. support in Japan's bitter territorial dispute with China. Obama made his first stop in Tokyo on a week-long tour that will also take him to South Korea, Malaysia, and the Philippines. And that's today's World Watch.
Looks like 0-2 holes are all too familiar for Chicago. I'm Brett Tudela for NTC Sports. The Blackhawks dropped 2 games in St. Louis before taking Game 3 at the United Center, but the Bulls find themselves in a similar situation after last night. After dropping Game 1 at home, Joakim Noah and the Bulls were looking to avoid dropping both games at the UC. Pre-game, Noah was presented his Defensive Player of the Year award in front of the home crowd. First half, Kirk Hinrich and Bradley Beal get into a bit of a scuffle and have to get separated there. You know it's serious when Hinrich takes off his goggles. Later in the game, Wizards' John Wall goes around the screen here, pump fakes Hinrich into the air, and then draws the foul, banks it in, and one. Hinrich a little frustrated again. This time Beal, with a floater contested in the lane in the fourth quarter, hits it. It sends the game in overtime. Now, overtime, Nene kind of put on a show here, dunking on the fast break, and then later, he'll be defended by Noah. A couple stutter steps, fadeaway jumper, and he hits it. The Wizards would go on to win by the final score of 101 to 99. The Bulls find themselves now down 2 games to none and needing a win, in at least one, in Washington to bring the series back to Chicago. Jumping over to Wrigley from last night, the Cubs facing the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Bottom 5, 2 men on, 2 men out for Myke Olt, who takes this Brandon McCarthy pitch deep over the right center field wall. That's Olt's 4th home run of the season. He's leading the team with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. 8th inning, Justin Ruggiano with a bloop single into right field for 2 runs. Later, Anthony Rizzo, a little grounder to the left side. Ruggiano gets a little ahead of himself. Brown's thinking that the third baseman is going to throw. He gets tagged out. The Cubs would go on to win, though, 9-2. White Sox were in Detroit and found themselves down big here, even in the 5th inning, down 7-1. Rajai Davis with a single into left center field, scoring Alex Avila there. 9th inning, the Sox are making a comeback. Adam Dunn goes deep into the right center field. Later in the inning, though, Alexei Ramirez would hit a line drive to left field to end the game. Made out there, caught by the left fielder. The Tigers would win 8-6. History was made last night in Washington involving known Cubs killer Albert Pujols, as he takes a Taylor Jordan pitch deep to left center for his 2nd homer of the day, but more importantly, that was his 500th career home run. Pujols had all of his teammates come out there to home plate to help celebrate. Our play of the day is actually going to be going to Wrigley Field. Today is the 100th anniversary of the first game ever played at the stadium that was once called Weigman Park. Today, the Cubs and the Diamondbacks will wear special throwback uniforms as part of the celebration. That's all I have for sports. Until next time.
These people read the newspaper on the radio. Find out why. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
There's so many ways people can volunteer for a cause or give back to the community.
At WNIJ Northern Public Radio Station, a voice can mean so much more to those people who are visually impaired.
This is Linda Gletty and David Rossick, 2 of the 20 volunteers that read print information over the air to people who are blind or who have a physical disability that prevents them to be able to read. Inside WNIJ Public Radio Station, the Northern Illinois Radio Information Services, known as NIRIS, brings volunteers in daily to read pieces in local newspapers that may not be generally heard on television news broadcasts. Linda is a retired nurse that has been volunteering every Thursday for the past 10 years.
It's a chance for me to give back, to contribute
to society in some positive way. And I know there's a need out there, and we're glad to help fill that need.
NIRIS originated in 1979, and listeners can tune in every night between 7 and 8 p.m. It is broadcasted over a 50-mile square radius around northern Illinois. Here at the NIRIS studio, there is no typical day. Every day varies from what's in the news. They sit here and file through the Daily Chronicle and the Northern Star and feed out which are the most important stories to tell the people. Coordinator Doug Harrington started out as a volunteer in 1983 and was offered a job after 6 years. Doug is proud to make a difference to hundreds of people's lives every day, and sometimes for him, it's the little things that can really help people get information.
Really, I'm grateful that I can help someone, especially when we do the shopping ads. Now, I get to know what's on sale, and I'm able to help someone who can't read the newspaper to let them know what's on sale.
Right. For volunteers, it's a feeling of satisfaction to do something for their community.
You know, I just was missing the giving back part of my life, and this is a little bit of it.
With 11 different information reading headquarters in Illinois, more than 600 people benefit from the broadcast every year.
I don't think I'm a hero at all by doing this, but it's just a small thing that I can do.
Right. If you are looking for a way to get involved in the community, NIRIS is an excellent opportunity offered in DeKalb. You can apply by volunteering by contacting the WNIJ Northern Public Radio Station. For NTC News, I'm Emilee Fannon.
Wow, I would have never thought about reading sales ads.
Yeah, it's a really easy way people can give back to the community.
Well, we want to thank you all for being here with us. NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back the same time Monday. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.